Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Jayden.reads. So, this video has kind of been a long time coming, I guess. I've been talking about doing a Frankenstein reading vlog for a while now. Like, I guess just a couple of weeks, but to me it feels like it's been a while because I took the vlog footage a long time ago and then I just haven't got around to filming the vlog. So today I was like, I'm gonna sit down, film the intro, talk about it a little more, and get this video up because, my goodness, like, I don't know why I've been putting this off for so long. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about this beautiful book, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I feel weird when it comes to, like, reading vlogs because, I mean, there's only so many times you can sit there and have the camera pointed at you as you read because that's not interesting. And then it's hard to always have your camera on you and be like, oh, yes, as I was reading page 51, I had this very deep and a moving thought. Sorry, my camera just ran out of space, and so I started recording again, and I have no idea what I was talking about. So I'm just gonna keep going with whatever. And just pretend that it's important and that I totally know what I'm talking about. So anyway, oh, I think I was talking about vlogging. Yeah, I'm still trying to get the hang of vlogging. It's really weird for me, and it's also really interesting because it's not just like a normal person day vlog, you know, where you're just like, hey, went to the pumpkin patch, look at my cute new pumpkin. It's like your reading vlog. So I've seen lots of reading vlogs. I've seen people do them successfully, but I'm still trying to figure out how I do them successfully. So this video is mostly just going to contain footage of my husband's family and I hunting for Bigfoot and like walking around a cabin, and very little actual reading, but I guess that's fine. I don't know. Trying to figure out this whole vlog thing. That being said, I love this book. I love this book the first time I read it. This is the second time I read it, and I actually went through, this isn't like the greatest, like you can't really see, but if you can see right there, I got this, hi, I got this Barnes & Noble Classics edition because I don't think they're very beautiful per se, but they're nice in paperback, they're super easy just to like flip open and bend, I guess, and then, yeah, I felt comfortable highlighting it, I felt comfortable marking this up because it was only like $5, and they have little, like, information in the back, so oh, why did Mary Shelley write that? Well, we can come back to these sections and see, oh, chapter whatever, footnote 1. Oh, this is like more information about it. So I really like that because every time I read a book, the reason, like one of the main reasons that I started this booktube channel is every time I read a book, I would have to hop on YouTube and Google like reviews that people had because I wanted to see if they thought the same things that I did. I love just, I don't know, when I read a book, I really love immersing myself in that world, and so I just want more out of it, and so I love the Barnes & Noble editions because I feel like I can do that, because they give me like little references and side notes and information about the authors or what this would have meant like contextually at the time, if any of that makes sense. So anyway, I did mark a lot of this up. As you can see, it's pretty consistent on like every page, and then of course I turned to a page where I didn't mark anything. I don't know, there's a little bit right there. Like I keep saying, this is hard because I don't know what to do. I don't want to make this too long and turn it into a book review when I'm trying to make it a reading vlog. If you have seen some of my other videos, like a long time ago, I guess not that long ago, but anyway, I made this video called like 5 classics you need to read or something like that, and I'll link it up here. But anyway, in that video, I talk about Frankenstein and how much I love it and just like why I think you should read it and a basic synopsis of that. So if you want to know more about the book itself, then check that out. I made like this little sticky note of things to talk about in this video, but then I realized that was going to take forever. So I tried, there's one part in here that I think that I really wanted to share. And basically, if you haven't read Frankenstein before, there is a mad scientist, I guess he's not a mad scientist, but kind of where the mad scientist like vibe comes from, and his name is Frankenstein, and he was obsessed with creating life, and so he wanted to create a person, and he did, and that person is his creature, and this book is basically like that creature's journey and trying to figure out how to be like human but not human. It's very complicated and convoluted, but I just think it's a very important read. It's very important because it teaches a lot about sympathy and empathy, and also that we need to take responsibility for our actions, and that our actions do in fact have consequences, and that we can't escape those. And Frankenstein has to face up to his, you know, the consequences of his actions in a very real way. So I really want to find the part that I wanted to read. Okay, while I continue to look through here to find whatever part it is that I want to share with you guys, I'll let you guys go ahead and watch the vlog footage that I took.
Welcome to the Frankenstein vlogs. So, for my book club with my mother-in-law and sometimes sisters-in-law, we decided to read Frankenstein for the month of October. We chose to come out to these beautiful cabins because, you know, when Mary Shelley wrote Frankenstein, she wrote it like during a lake day. Well, not during a lake day. But she was staying on a lake in Geneva, I believe, with her husband and some other people, and they had a scary story writing competition. And so we came out here in this teeny little cabin to feel the aesthetic, maybe write our own scary stories. And you never know, maybe our names will go down in history, the best scary stories ever written as well. There are these cute little deer. I was just out here a minute ago and they were staring at me, and they're still staring. I don't know what they think I'm gonna do to them. I just want to love them. There's the road. Sorry, that was probably too fast. And then earlier, this whole area was filled with deer, and then over there was filled with geese. And then I foolishly walked out here to try to interact with the deer and drove them away. But look at that view. Spooky. Now I'm gonna head back into our cute little cabin. I am super behind on my reading. I've read like just the letters at the very beginning, and we're supposed to have our book club tomorrow, so I've got like 200 pages to go. That's the cute little room where I'll be staying, and we're gonna be doing some cute little like wood crafts for Halloween decorations, and I'm really excited. I like sound so silly. But yeah.
Is this in your purse? No, that's not exaggerate. I'll just add it. Hey, if we do want to play the Curse of Strahd tonight, then I need to know so I can get it ready. Oh, I'll have my D&D. Oh, that's true.
Those deer. They're still watching me. What are they so afraid of? Oh, it's so cozy and cute. They just stopped, but they were all in there talking about going to hunt Sasquatch tonight. I wish they would start again because they were so funny. But I'm just sitting here.
Hey, when are we gonna hear this story? I'm
getting ready to set the scene.
Okay.
He's building our anticipation.
Would you like some $15 off of your evergreen suite from your clean cult? Your cult?
We're getting Quinn's
Okay.
I've heard this story.
You have not.
I have too.
Fort Lewis.
Not only are we listening to the story,
Sort of.
we're going to hunt Bigfoot.
It's a Air Force base, military base land.
Also, I would keep filming, but I think this story is gonna go on way too long, so we're not gonna get it all. Ew!
Outside my window.
Part of it.
This gets on it. Follow me on Insta at jayden.reads, no caps, no space.
Do I have your permission to put you on?
Yes, of
Yes,
course.
of
Otherwise I
course.
wouldn't ask for the shout out.
Right.
Gotcha.
And who are you?
I'm her younger brother, and if we ever get to it, there will be a part of the YouTube section called Hit Tricks with Aiden, and I have some tricks and tips that I can give to all you
nerds
all you people,
who
all you
aren't cool enough to have these hip tips already.
Yes, you see, I'm in I'm in the backstage, right? And I know all the information, especially about good things and cool things to do during school,
Wow.
at home, at play, when you with the boys.
Be respectful
You
for
got it
Dad's
all.
Be respectful, Aiden.
My deepest condolences.
Honestly, knock it off. We're on the trail to look for Bigfoot. My fellow explorer is ready. Back there. I don't know how to turn this around. This is where we're headed. I found him!
So,
It's Bigfoot, everyone.
it's Hip Tip Tricks. I need to come up with a name for your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel?
Yeah. So like if you say like featuring, and then it'll be like my, like, I guess I don't have a YouTube channel. I guess we'll have to make that up.
Featuring this boy.
I'm signaling Bigfoot.
Wonder who that was.
Oh.
Ooh, this is like a part I want to share. So I guess if you haven't read Frankenstein, there is going to be a little bit of a spoiler in here. If you want, just go ahead and like skip over this part. When I edit this, I'll put a little like time right here, like the time it is that I get done talking about my thoughts, because I'm going to read, I don't know why I'm showing you this side. I'm going to read a little passage from the end that's talking about like the creature and what he experienced, and it just kind of sums up why I think this book is so beautiful. So there we go. I'll read that. I'll share my thoughts. It will be a reading vlog because it will have vlog footage and a little bit of reading. Okay, so the part that I want to share with you, this is at the very end when Walton, I believe is his name, you guys know, like the captain of the ship that Frankenstein ends up on. So it's like Walton is confronting the creature. I think Frankenstein has just passed away, and the creature like comes on board Walton's ship, and Walton had promised to Frankenstein, oh yeah, if I see the creature, I'll talk to him, that sort of thing. So he's going to confront the creature. He walks into this room and he sees the creature crying over Frankenstein's body. And he's like, you need to get out of here, you're horrible, this is your fault. And then this is kind of the creature's response to him. And I'm not starting at the beginning of the response, but like partway through. He says, and do you dream, said the demon. Do you think that I was then dead to agony and remorse? He continued, pointing to the corpse. He suffered not in the consummation of the deed. Oh, not the 10,000th portion of the anguish that was mine during the lingering detail of its execution. A frightful selfishness hurried me on, while my heart was poisoned with remorse. Think you that the groans of Clairville were music to my ears? My heart was fashioned to be susceptible of love and sympathy, and when wrenched by misery, to vice and hatred, it did not endure the violence of the change without torture such as you cannot even imagine. After the murder of Clairville, I returned to Switzerland, heartbroken and overcome. I pitied Frankenstein. My pity amounted to horror. I abhorred myself. But when I discovered that he, the author at once of my existence and of its unspeakable torments, dared to hope for happiness, that while he accumulated wretchedness and despair upon me, he sought his own enjoyment in feelings and passions from the indulgence of which I was forever barred. Then impotent envy and bitter indignation filled me with an insatiable thirst for vengeance. I recollected my threat and resolved that it should be accomplished. I knew that I was preparing for myself a deadly torture, but I was the slave, not the master, of an impulse which I detested, yet could not disobey. Yet, when she died, nay, then I was not miserable. I had cast off all feeling, subdued all anguish, to riot in the excess of my despair. Evil thenceforth became my good. Urged thus far, I had no choice but to adapt my nature to an element which I had willingly chosen. The completion of my demoniacal design became an insatiable passion. And now it is ended. There is my last victim. So then right there, Walton confronts him again, and he's like, Frankenstein told me that you would be really eloquent and that you would know what to say and that you would try to persuade me to see your side of it, but you're still bad, you're still evil. And then the creature goes on and he's like, oh, it is not thus, interrupted the being. Yet such must be the impression conveyed to you by what appears to be the purport of my actions. Yet I seek not a fellow feeling in my misery. No sympathy may I ever find. When I first sought it, it was the love of virtue, the feelings of happiness and affection with which my whole being overflowed, that I wished to be participated. But now that virtue has become to me a shadow, and that happiness and affection are turned into bitter and loathing despair, in what should I seek for sympathy? I am content to suffer alone, while my suffering shall endure. When I die, I am well satisfied that abhorrence and opprobrium, never heard that word, should load my memory. Once my fancy was soothed with dreams of virtue, of fame, and of enjoyment. Once I falsely hoped to meet with beings who, pardoning my outward form, would love me for the excellent qualities which I was capable of unfolding. I was nourished with the high thoughts of honor and devotion, but now crime has degraded me beneath the meanest animal. No guilt, no mischief, no malignity, I don't know that word, no misery can be found comparable to mine. When I run over the frightful catalogue of my sins, I cannot believe that I am the same creature whose thoughts were once filled with sublime and transcendent visions of the beauty and majesty of goodness. But it is even so. The fallen angel becomes a malignant devil. Yet even that enemy of God and man had friends and associates in his desolation. I am alone. So this made me really sad reading this. I know it's like long and wordy and all those things, but all classics are. I even ended up writing in my book right here, and I said, in some ways, the creature was better than Frankenstein because he was willing to take responsibility for his actions and their consequences. And I think that's a huge part of this book, that Frankenstein just continues to run away from his actions and from the bad choices that he's made, and I don't think that's fair. You know, it causes a lot of pain on the parts of others, and it's irresponsible. If Frankenstein would have just recognized from the beginning, oh, I made a mistake, this wasn't a good idea, you know, he could have tried to take care of the creature, but he was so scared of it, I guess he ran and locked himself in his room, and then the creature ran away, which I find it a little hard to believe that the creature would just run away. That part to me was why did that whole thing just happen? But yeah, I just think, Frankenstein, you're so dumb. Why did you go hide yourself in your room and just wait for hours and hope that your creature was gone? Did you not think that it would amount to anything? Because for me, it would be worse not knowing. You know, it would be worse thinking, oh, I created this, I don't know if it's good or bad, and now it's just gone out into the world, and it could totally be harming people, and I would be responsible, and I don't know. So, if it were me, I don't think that I would have just let him run away. I feel like Frankenstein really should have owned up to what he did. And even throughout the whole book, and at the end, he kept saying, well, the creature did this, and it's not my fault. The creature did this, and it's not my fault. And I think to some degree, yeah, Frankenstein can't hold himself responsible for everything that the creature did because the creature grew to a point where he had independent thoughts and will. But at the same time, Frankenstein was responsible because he created him. I believe that Frankenstein was responsible to teach him and to care for him and to show him how to be good. And that once Frankenstein had done those things, if the creature chose to make bad decisions, then it was on the creature's head. But I think because Frankenstein did not take his responsibility as a parent seriously, and then the creature went out and wreaked havoc, I do think that's on Frankenstein's head. And so I guess for me, this is a really big allegory of, parents and children and the responsibility that parents have to take care of their children. Not only that, but I think it really reflects the nature of humans and of, in the Christian world, sin, I guess, and just that when we make a bad choice or when we commit a crime, we start to distance ourselves from ourselves. The creature even said, I couldn't believe that I was the same creature who had these thoughts of tranquility and peace and happiness, and I was now murdering people. He couldn't, the two sides of him were so distinct that they didn't seem like the same individual. I think a lot of us feel that way when we make mistakes, and it's important to recognize, no, just because you made a mistake, you can always try again, and you can always become better. We need to be compassionate when people make mistakes around us and correct them in a kind way and say, hey, try again. We can be better. Because I feel like if this creature just received a little bit of compassion or had even one friend, that things would have gone a lot differently in this book. And I know it's just a book, but I feel like the entire point of reading is to learn and gain knowledge and to become better from it. That's one of my thoughts from Frankenstein. I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed reading it with my mother-in-law and being able to discuss it with her and having this really fun weekend to just go to a cabin and find inspiration like Mary Shelley. I did not come back with an amazing horror story idea. Such a bummer, but maybe next time. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I want to know what you guys think about Frankenstein. I want to know if you agree with any of my thoughts that I just barely went over, kind of my thoughts about parenting and sympathy, and I want you to let me know down in the comments below, you know, if we share any of the same thoughts. And not only that, but comment down below if you are a believer in Bigfoot, and if so, what can we do to better try to find him, you know, because, you know, we really tried. We really gave it our all. Let me know some good Bigfoot hunting tips, I guess. Anyways, I'll see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!